And this bitch still capping with Dan, bro. Right now on the come up, lately been talking my shit because I know I come from the gutter since I'm such a brother. Then I go pop out in all of this linen like I was a baller. How can you hate me? I'm coming from under. Nowhere to sleep, what the fuck is a cover? Now I pop out in Balenciagas, they run us, man, tell us stop tweaking, I already fucked us. I was down bad, I know I done it all, I was serving the fiends, let the Zennies dissolve. If I got a problem, I'm making one call, while none of your niggas be sliding at all. But bitch like an oven, I'm packing that heat, only get up with bitches when it's in the sheets. Run to the paper like I'm in the meat, baby, get on your knees, let me give you a treat. Too much of the walkie be having me sleep, but too much of the purse got me ready to freak. Grinding for months, I've been grinding for weeks, my uncle told me to just watch for the week, cause they like to sneak. Gucci and Prada be having me dripping like I was a sing, man, what did you think? I'm trying to make it to put some VVs inside my Cuban link, man, why do it sting? Kobe been bringing in pounds of the Zod, but y'all know that it reek, you niggas not street. I can have youngers that's 13 and under, put you in the T and I do it for free. Wearies and stinks, we was serving the fiends. Mel told me to stop popping the beans. Right on the T, I'm still in my dreams, I like dropping them Zannies inside of my lean. Lil' Easy been working, keep passing your moves, we got them bitches twerking. We see in the cut and that nigga be lurking, can't see in the track cause we closing the curtain. Don't know what I'm feeling, seem like the niggas who doubted me most is always in my mentions. You know I ain't tripping. Drop me a check and that boy be away and my transaction pending. Before the pandemic, my niggas was clicking some rentals. Can't wait to hit Johnny to fuck up my dental. Do tips in the 40 or fuck up his mental. We put him on TV like he Jimmy Kimmel. My niggas some reps will attack like a whistle. Hollows it is flesh and this skin start to sizzle. You know we erasing a nigga like pencils. The skirt off the way, no my niggas get little. But don't let me get started. The flow on the rocks got me looking retarded. Niggas be hating, that really be garbage. Over that paper, some niggas departed. But I never care. Trying to get big and see green everywhere. My niggas on go, why your niggas be scared? Off of the walkie, get harder to steer. But I'm on my way up. See you when I'm there.
Killers, always off lean and perkies, they say it be numbing they feelings. In love with drilling. Niggas start chilling with no blood spilling, but they willing. Ain't no ops living. Walk on the hit, yeah, we did it. Only like 4 blocks, really. Niggas be silly. Asking the nigga get with me. I be like, no, not really. Clubs, but I got no mask. I let nigga know I did it. Fuck it. Niggas can't know my business. Nothing. Pull up in a new whip and it's disgusting. No bitches with me, cause bitches be busting. 4 niggas put them to sleep like Tussin. G-Herbo, boy, where you been? Hustling. Got an F in from my big. Fell in love with the fire. Grew up bad. Sometimes I laugh when my son cussing. Ain't like he in the trenches or nothing. Ain't like he gon' experience something. Really rich, don't be delirious, dummy. Touch him and bleed like a period. All my life I just wanted some money. I've been a gangsta, ain't nobody punk me. That bitch has been on my dick cause I'm funny. I used to sip up a 6 like a junkie. Ain't never been on a hit, you a flunky. Close range, them bitches miss, guess I'm lucky. Shorty a 4-foot killer like Chucky. Ain't trusting shit if it's up, then it's stuck with me.
Right now on the come up, lately been talking my shit because I know I come from the gutter since I'm such a brother. Then I go pop out in all of this linen like I was a baller. How can you hate me? I'm coming from under. Nowhere to sleep, what the fuck is a cover? Now I pop out in Balenciagas, they run us, man, tell us stop tweaking, I already fucked her.
From my ex, a dozen different things you wanna ask me. Shut it all down, don't wanna feel 2 different hands on my body. Buying out a drink just for me. I'll keep the rhythm steady, rock with me. Let that sink in, I wanna rewrite my own destiny. We've got the same mind, you got me so hot. We've got the same mind, I love you all night. We got the same mind, got the same mind. We got the same mind, got the same mind. We got the same mind, got the same mind. We got the same mind, got the same, got the same. Same mind. We got the same mind, got the same mind. We got the same mind, got the same mind. It feels. We got the same mind, the same mind. We got the same mind, got the same mind. It feels. We got the same mind, we got the same mind, the same mind, the same mind, the same mind. We got the same mind, got the same mind. Almost drunk enough to forget 1,000 different things he used to say to me. Shut it all down, get reckless. If you're ready, baby, try me.
Hey, what's up everyone? Hope you're having a good evening tonight. Alright, let's let's get the charts rolling. So I'm gonna check out the total crypto market cap to start off the night. Okay, so on the weekly chart, I'm thinking that my chart might be glitching out a little bit here. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what this big spike is. There we go, that's better. Alright. We got a higher low here on the weekly, and you can see that the wick just came down to the Fibonacci level here. So that's looking nice so far. I'm not liking the bullish momentum getting weaker here on the daily. And you can also see that it's attempting to bearishly engulf here. 4 hour it shows that the bears are losing strength at least, and we do have a little bit of bullish divergence here actually, so 4 hours looking quite nice. So as long as we hold above this fib level here, I'm still really liking the looks of the market. Alright, let's see how Bitcoin's doing tonight. I like that the thicker part of the candle's getting up above this here. And you can see 3 nice wicks here, got a higher low. Same thing as the total crypto market cap, I just don't want to see this drop below the fib level here. It's always possible that we'd catch off the 618 as this is a pretty strong support level, but once we get under the 0.5 Fibonacci level, the market's starting to look a little more sketchy at that point, and a lot of altcoins could be in for some blood. There's bullish divergence on the 4 hour here as well. So we have bullish divergence on both Bitcoin and the total crypto market cap, so that's looking nice, especially while we're at the fib level. So as many of you know, the 0.5 Fibonacci level is a very common retrace level, especially whenever we're in a parabolic uptrend like this. So if we were to get a bounce right here, that's showing a lot of upside potential from this point. And if Bitcoin were to get a nice rally from here, altcoins are just going to go absolutely insane, which is what I'm excited for personally. And let's see how XRP's looking tonight. Weekly bearish momentum losing strength, that's nice there. Daily we have the bulls losing strength. Don't really see much for bullish divergence presenting itself on the 4 hour either, or on the daily. I'm probably going to wait for some more information to develop on this asset here. 1 hour at least you could see a little bit of bullish divergence, but 1 hour isn't exactly the most significant of the time frames. Typically I'd like to see either 4 hour bullish divergence or daily. Whenever you see different indicators on the 4 hour or the daily time frames, it's a lot more likely to play out than the smaller time frames, and it's a lot more significant of moves. So the 1 hour looks alright on XRP, but personally I'm just going to wait for more information to develop here. Alright, let's see how Hex is doing tonight. I like this weekly MACD. Bears are losing strength there. I like that it's only been 2 wicks coming down to touch the fib level here. On the daily, you could see that the bears are losing strength on the MACD as well. And it's looking like that little triple bottom that I'd marked up here is attempting to play out. So Hex is looking really nice right now, actually. 4 hour, got some bullish momentum on the MACD starting to build. So far I'm thinking Hex is probably the nicest looking asset of the night. Yeah, and if this one ends up getting a rally, that's probably going to be a very explosive run. Yeah, Hex is looking great. I'll take a look at the smaller time frames, but so far I'm really liking what I see. You could see a little bullish momentum losing strength there, and the RSI is up around close to oversold, so smaller time frames maybe looking at a little consolidation, but larger time frames still look great to me. I think there's a fair chance that this asset's going to start to rally from here. Alright, let's take a look at how Thor is doing tonight. I know there's a couple here that hold some Thor nodes, so this is a really interesting project. Weekly, I'm really liking that. We got bullish engulfing candle over this here. Daily, the stochastic is still crossed bullish. And just been consistent higher highs, higher lows. Might have a little trouble up around here at the roughly $200 area, 195 to 200, as that looks like that could be a pretty significant resistance level. But once this breaks, huge upside potential. And 4 hours got a bearish cross as well, so wouldn't really surprise me if we see some consolidation here before it runs, because this has already had a pretty amazing rally on it. This was down, I believe that's $17, $18 roughly, just on the 22nd, or the 7th actually. So that was less than 2 weeks ago that this asset was trading down around $17, $18. And we just hit a high of about 180, so that's over a 10x. And as some of you know, that these are nodes, so you get paid out passive income off of the nodes. So that could be a tremendous gain for anyone that got in down here. I know some people did, and amazing trade, any of you guys that hopped in down here. Yeah, I'm really interested to see if this ends up being anything like strong nodes. I'll bring up the chart here just so we can get a comparison to see. I'll just see if it's on deck screener first, actually. Yeah, so strong. Yeah, I don't think this chart actually has far enough back information. There we go, this is what I was looking for. Okay, so strong nodes. You could see this, in my opinion, looks kind of similar to how Thor did in the start. Got a nice little initial run, and then it just got a big crash. We dropped down and we're trading down around the $15 to $20 area. And then strong ran all the way to almost 1200 USD. And the way that these strong nodes work is anyone that buys 10 strong, you can then convert that into a strong node, which pays you out 0.1 strong per day. So let's say someone bought 10 strong down here, 160 USD, 230 USD, something around that range. and that would have paid out 0.1 strong per day. So imagine anyone that accumulated that and sold either close to the peak or at the peak. Just absolutely phenomenal gains. So that's what I'm interested to see if that ends up playing out with Thor here. Now, none of this is financial advice. This is just my interpretation of potential comparison between two assets, but I'm really liking the looks of these two here. If this ends up playing out anything like Strong did, I'm sold. Love it. Okay, let's see. And this is one other node project that I've been looking into a little bit lately. This one is more high risk. Strong's high risk as well. Or not well, Strong as well, but Thor is what I meant to say is high risk. But I believe this one's even a little more risky than Thor, but I'm really liking the looks of the chart on this at the moment. Yeah, shout out to Brady for mentioning Thor to me. Appreciate that one. Yeah, I'm liking the looks of this chart because once the daily breaks right here, it's got a lot of upside potential. For now, the stochastic is still cross bullish on the daily. 4 hour could be looking better, but if this breaks, I could see the 4 hour crossing bullish. 12 hours still bullish. Yeah, I'm definitely liking the potential here. If this ends up getting a nice rally, this could be another monster. Alright, let's see how CRV is doing tonight. I'm liking that it's just wicking above the trend line so far. The MACD is showing that the bulls are losing momentum, so that could be looking better. And the MACD on the daily showing the bears are losing strength, so I'm not really liking the looks of that as well. Plus this is actually bearishly engulfing, so this candle's coming below the low here. You can see the thick parts dropping below. So if this candle were to close here lower, it's looking like there's some downside potential, especially with the MACD starting to show the bearish momentum growing. Yeah, and we had a bearish divergence right here actually that I had marked up. So it's looking like this played out right here, and then we just got that pullback. And now we actually have bullish divergence playing out. So on the smaller time frame, it's actually looking potential for a reversal here. You can see the small time frame bearish divergence, bounce down, bullish divergence. Now we might get a rally up. So smaller time frame could save it because I'm liking the looks of that, but larger time frames could be looking a bit better in my opinion. Alright, now let's take a look at Alliance Block. A little bit of bullish divergence right here on the 1 hour. So the way that we're down at the 786 fib, this would be the last fib before we're floored. And bullish divergence right here, looking like it doesn't really want to come down and touch the Fibonacci level here. I don't know, probably going to wait for some more information to develop on this one as well. I don't really see any significant signs of where we're going to head here. Alright, now let's take a look at the US stock market, the Dow Jones, and see how we're doing tonight. So, any of you guys who have been listening the past couple of nights know that I've been not really liking the looks of the Dow Jones that much personally. We have very significant bearish divergence here on the weekly. Bearish divergence very significant here on the monthly as well. You can't really see it the greatest because of the MACD. Yeah, there we go. So, monthly and weekly bearish divergence. You could see the bulls are losing momentum on the MACD on the monthly. Bears are growing momentum on the weekly. Bears are growing momentum on the daily. Growing momentum on the 4-hour. Yeah, honestly, this asset just, well, the Dow Jones, the US stock market's basically what this represents. Not really looking the greatest at the moment. Now, we could just come down to this support level here. Touch this. Bounce. That wouldn't surprise me. And the US government and the Federal Reserve, they really want to keep the US stock market running. So, typically, whenever it looks like the Dow Jones is just going to take a dump, sometimes they'll just print out obscene amounts of money and the pattern's invalidated. So let's say this does end up playing out and we get a dump. As soon as we break this support level here, it's pretty easy to come down to the 236 for sure. That'd be 32,403. And this would probably be the most likely level that I would expect to come down to, the 382 at the very least, as this would be where the previous market cycle top was, or yeah, right before the March dip. So this was before where COVID started. So I wouldn't really be surprised if we just came back down here, formed support at previous resistance, and then continued to rally. At the same time, I don't know, the US stock market's going to be in for some interesting things in the coming years with the way that inflation's playing out and the monetary policies. Be interesting to see, to say the least. Let's see how the NASDAQ is doing. Yeah, the NASDAQ's looking even worse. The NASDAQ's actually already attempting to break. Yeah. That's not looking good. Bearish momentum is very powerful here in the weekly, and there's also bearish divergence as well. Monthly bearish divergence, same thing as the Dow Jones. You can see that candle there on the monthly, the first red we've seen in quite a while. If that breaks, could be in for something similar. Let's see. So, looking a bit different than the Dow Jones, but neither of them are looking great. So, bulls are losing momentum on the monthly, gaining strength on bearish strength on the weekly. Bearish momentum growing on the daily. Bearish engulfing candle here under the support line. Bearish momentum's attempting to grow on the 4-hour, but we do have some 4-hour bullish divergence present. So, potential for it to attempt to reverse here. Yeah, and some pretty clear 1 hour bullish divergence, and the bulls are attempting to, or the bears are losing momentum actually right here on the 1 hour. So smaller time frames, it's looking like it's attempting to get back over that support line, but I don't know. I'm not really liking these daily closes below it already. Now if we see a weekly close under it, I'm probably going to start to get a little more concerned at that point, especially with the way that the bearish momentum is growing here on the weekly chart. Hey, what's up, Alex? Hope you're having a good night tonight. So Dow Jones and NASDAQ, in my opinion, are not looking the best. The S&P 500, same thing, looking like the bulls are losing momentum. Monthly doesn't look as bearish as the NASDAQ, but you can still see a wick here attempting to come under the support. Bearish momentum attempting to grow on the weekly. I'd also be watching for a weekly bearish close under the support as well. Not liking the looks of that bearish momentum here on the daily whatsoever. MACD's trying to get right under this low here. If it goes just slightly lower, that's not looking good. 4 hour, same ordeal. Bears are attempting to gain a little bit of strength here. Bearish engulfing candle. I'm going to be honest, none of the stock indexes look great to me. Now we can always just get the Federal Reserve printing a bunch of money, like I said, and poof, patterns invalidated. But just by the way the charts are looking, these aren't looking great. Yeah, the 1 hour, same ordeal as the NASDAQ. We got a little bit of bullish divergence, and the MACD shows that the bears are losing momentum. So on the shorter time frames, they're trying to get back above support, but I'm not really liking the looks of the larger time frames whatsoever. From the monthly down to the daily is just terrible. Alright, let's see how VVS Finance is doing. Yeah, I'll take a look at H-bar right in 1 sec. Just going to look at VVS first, Brady. Floored. Yeah, I'm going to try to get a better chart actually for this where we can see the very beginning, because I think there's actually a low before where we can see first support level. Okay, so between 0.00018 and 0.0002942. Roughly between this range here is where it's looking like we can get a potential bounce, because this is already absolutely floored. And we did have some bullish divergence here that I was hoping was going to play out, but honestly I'm just still accumulating this asset at these levels. This is one that I'm very bullish on personally. Alright, let's see how H-bar is looking. Yeah, I wouldn't really be that upset if I see the money printers going, Brady, because if we get some more printing going, I'd be absolutely happy with the way that it's probably going to look for our assets that we're holding. More money printing could lead to inflation or hyperinflation, which for assets that just pumps the price up because it requires more money to buy the same asset. Supply and demand. If there's too much money in the system and there's not enough of the product, the price is just going to get jacked up, and demand's crazy right now with supply chain issues going on worldwide. So between that and the money printing, we could be in for a really interesting ride in the market for the coming months. And H-bar. I'm going to see if I have that on my stream deck already. I thought I added that, but I guess I didn't yet. Yeah, thanks for the answer, Norm. I believe it is down to 155 at the moment. The APY in the beginning was absolutely insane, but as we see the APY drop, that's whenever we're more likely to see the price of the asset actually start to run. So I'm just accumulating at this point and stocking up on VVS. I haven't really stopped checking it personally. I like that it's being this floored because I'm bullish on the asset. So I'm just taking dividends from some of my other plays, and then I'm throwing it into here since it looks so floored. And H-bar, sorry for taking so long to get to this, Brady. Hasn't quite dropped on the MACD below here, but it's flat, so we're going to have to wait to see what happens there on the weekly. Looking like there was a little bit of bearish divergence here on the daily, but that could have just been this little pullback that we got here, because it's looking like it's trying to coil up and double bottom. I like that the RSI came down and got oversold this far. Now there's some nice bullish divergence on the 4 hour. Yeah, you can see that the candles were just trending down towards that way here. And the RSI was trending up, so we got bullish divergence on the 4 hour. MACD shows the bull starting to gain strength, or starting to gain some momentum. And 1 hour currently bullishly engulfing. Bullish divergence playing out. Smaller time frames, I'm liking the looks of H-bar. If the macro starts running, it'll likely get a nice pump. Oh, thanks, man. I've been looking around for some tunes, so I don't play the same music every stream and bore you guys. So, yeah, I think H-bar is actually looking alright. The larger time frames look so-so, but at least we have some bullish indication on the smaller time frames. And 4 hours not really that small of a time frame. This is actually a time frame that I would find is pretty significant, so in my opinion, H-bar is looking alright. Anything else that you guys want me to check out for you tonight? Alright, OMI. OMI is looking really nice so far on the weekly. I'm liking this bullish engulfing candle here. It's looking like we got some consistent higher lows, higher highs, higher low, higher high. Yeah, we got a low, higher low. You can see the wicks here, that just pivoted, and it's looking really nice. If this ends up getting a higher high, I could see that going into price discovery mode, and that'll look pretty nice. Okay, so we actually had 4 hour bullish divergence here that I marked up the other day, and you can see how well that played out. We rallied from about 5.1 cents up to 8.2 cents. So that's looking pretty nice. And I like this RSI right here, just giving us that little high. Let's see the smaller time frames and see if there's anything telling us different, but so far it's looking alright here. I don't see any bearish divergence present. looking nice on the 1 hour. Yeah, I'll check out Alliance, Block, and Casper next. Casper's one that I been wanting to check out. I actually forgot to take a look at. Yeah, so far I'm liking the looks of Omi, especially on the larger time frames. So the one difference of Casper and some of these assets that just had crazy spikes and then dropped down low would be on AION, for example, would be it had rallied, was down lower, and it rallied up to the big spike, and then it got a drop. With Casper Labs, the one thing that I'm interested in figuring out about is why it just went from a big spike up here, and then we traded down, didn't start low, go high, and back down. Aside from that, I'll get into breaking down the technicals here. 4 hour bullish divergence present. It shows the bears are attempting to gain a little momentum there. And on the daily, we have the bears attempting to gain momentum here. 2 bearish red bars there. And bearish momentum on the 1 hour as well. There is some 1 hour bullish divergence here, so that's alright at least. Probably gonna wait for a little more information to develop on here. Honestly, I think it could be looking a little bit better, but I do like the bullish divergence that we're seeing on it, so maybe it'll form a floor here, especially since we're at that psychological 0.1. Yeah, honestly, I think this could be looking a bit better here. So if it does come down, I wouldn't be surprised if we catch right around here, as this is looking like it's pretty well the very bottom. So I'd be around 6 cents roughly. So if the bullish divergence doesn't hold and it does pull back a little more, that would be where I'd be looking for some bullish divergence for a potential entry on this asset, and some other coinciding variables. I don't like to enter just off of one indicator. Typically whenever I'm making an entry, I'll look for multiple coinciding variables saying my interpretation is more likely to happen based on multiple factors instead of just one factor in the market. 1.4. Yeah, it's possible that it's error. The daily right here was $6, so then 3. Well, it's an interesting asset to say the least, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on it for some signs of reversal, because if that ever does turn around, well, it's a crazy looking chart. And I'll take a look at Alliance block right now and see how that's doing. Monthly bearish engulfing candle, but we do have 2 wicks here for the 2 months down to the 786, so at least the wicks are looking nice here on the monthly. I'm not liking the looks of the weekly. bearish engulfing candle, bearish momentum growing. We're still holding the 786 for now, but I'd be keeping an eye out to see if this ends up breaking, because if that triple bottom doesn't hold, well, could be in for a significant drop there. The daily's starting to look better though. I can see that the bearish momentum is starting to get weaker, and it's looking like there's just 3 wicks coming down and touching the support level here. Or 4 actually if you count this, so that could be almost like a quad bottom. Looks somewhat like bullish divergence, but it's hard to judge as this low and this low look really close together. I could see a little bit of bullish momentum starting to build there on the 4 hour though. Okay, so bullish divergence here. Yeah, it's looking like it's possible that we get the reversal here. I would just be careful to make sure that we don't break this floor. Yeah, I'll take a look at the CoinMarketCap chart just to see what's up there. H bar. Okay, so 3 cents. I'm thinking on CoinMarketCap it might start slightly later and not show full information. If I'm not mistaken, it could be that it's starting here, and that would be why it's not showing the full chart. This also could just be a chart that's not showing accurate data in the beginning here, but trading view is typically pretty accurate. So I'll take a look at some different charts and then I'll get back to H-bar on the next stream and we'll see what's up with this. Oh, Casper on CoinMarketCaps, yeah. Okay, yeah, there we go. It makes a lot more sense. Sorry for talking about the wrong asset there for a sec. Oh, it's no stress at all, man. That was my mistake. Interesting. Yeah, it's like a $4.25, $4.3, something like that, roughly top here. I'm actually going to see on Deck Screener and see what it's showing there. Yeah, that's not a good chart. Yeah, I'll look around and see some different charts on Casper, and then next stream we'll come back to this one and we'll see what's up with that big spike there, because that's definitely interesting. Yeah, when it's oh. Yeah, we'll just come back to this one next stream. Anything else that you guys want me to take a look at tonight? So, as some of you know, with Time Wonderland, whenever the price drops below the backing price of Time, the treasury comes back in and buys to boost the price above the backing price. So we had gotten a pretty significant liquidation event here where from my understanding, a whale didn't believe that the price could go below the backing price. So as soon as it had dropped below the backing price, I believe it was like a $500,000 position, from if what I read was correct, had gotten eliminated, and that kind of just sparked this huge sell-off that we had here. And then the treasury stepped in, and right now we should be back up to the backing value of Time. So I've also heard that Time is moving away from the initial setup that they had for the DAO. Well, it's not even technically officially considered a DAO yet, but the treasury, they're supposed to be using it in a different way to produce profit for anyone that's staking Time. So I'm going to do a little more information to see here, but if it wasn't for that liquidation event, I don't think we would have had this significant of a sell-off with the way that the bullish divergence was looking on it here, but definitely caused a very nice entry for anyone that snagged some down here before the backing price got pumped up to backing price. If anyone was lucky enough or smart enough to pull the trigger down here, that would be roughly $700. And we went up to just about 14, so that was about double the price right there for if anyone was able to snag the bottom. Yeah, I find Time's a really interesting one for DeFi projects. Yeah, if there's nothing else that you guys want to see tonight, I'll probably check out another asset or two and then call it a night. I am liking the looks of gold so far on the monthly. You can see the channel we were in here, broke out, came down and just wicked down here. We got a double bottom at the Fibonacci level. Came back out, retested the top of the channel, tried to break out at the fib level, and now we're just attempting to finally break this fib level here and get a higher high. So what we want on gold is to make sure that we don't drop below 1680 roughly here. That's where we got the double bottom on the fib level here. And if we can get a higher high, that's going to be looking really strong on gold. Potential we go into price discovery mode and just see some really crazy highs in the coming months. And I'm liking the weekly here as well. You can see the bullish momentum is actually growing. Oh yeah, I'll check out API 3 in just one sec. I'll check out silver first and then I'll hop on that one. Daily bullish momentum growing, daily bullish engulfing candle, trying to break above the fib level. Really liking the looks of that. So if we get a higher high above here, gold is looking quite strong. If we get a higher high above this high, gold is looking absolutely phenomenal to me. Really loving the looks of this asset so far. Just setting up for an amazing rally if it ends up getting the nice push that we need. Yeah, 4-hour bullish momentum is growing. It's attempting to bullishly engulf. And the hour shows the bullish momentum is starting to get weaker on the MACD here. It's not really surprising after it just got a nice little pump and then broke above the fib level. If it can just consolidate above here and then keep on running, it's looking great. And let's see how silver's doing tonight. I'm liking the weekly. You can see we just got 3 weeks here, bearish momentum getting weaker. And here we actually got the first bullish momentum that we've seen in 1, 2, 3. About 2 months actually, roughly here, since we've actually seen the bullish momentum starting to pick up on silver. Really liking the looks of the MACD on the daily here. You can see that this is actually engulfed over here. We got a bullish engulfing candle here on the daily as well. So the MACD and the candles are looking great. 4 hours, same thing, looking great. MACD's looking nice and powerful, still growing in momentum there. And it's attempting to bullishly engulf here on the 4 hour. And the 1 hour could be looking better, but there's no bearish divergence or anything present besides the MACD bearish divergence here, so maybe a little consolidation or something, but honestly I'm loving the looks of larger time frames on gold and silver. Looking like the bulls are losing momentum here on the daily and attempting to bearishly engulf here. So daily definitely could be looking better here at the moment. Got like one tiny bit of bearish momentum there, so not really anything to talk about. Going to see what presents itself there later. I'm not really seeing that much information on the smaller time frames. The RSIs, nope, didn't quite actually form a lower low, so that's still looking alright for now. The larger time frames is kind of looking like it still wants to pull back a little bit, but the smaller time frames is just showing consolidation. I'm going to wait for some more information to develop here over the next couple of streams and see how it plays out, but this is kind of looking more bearish to bullish than me at the moment, at least on the larger time frames here, which is more significant than the smaller time frames. The 4 hour MACD still alright though, because that's not really much bearish momentum there, so yeah, I'll keep an eye on this one and we'll come back to this one in the future streams and see how it's looking, see if any more information develops. Alright, let's see how Matic is looking tonight. Loving the looks of this. That's amazing. So, November of 2020 was trading at 1.6 cents. And then we hit a high of $2.9. It's an amazing rally for that period of time, and I find that these candles are looking just absolutely beautiful. Consistent higher highs and higher lows. Yeah, you can see how well respected the support level is here. I'm just loving the way that this is playing out here. The bullish momentum is getting weaker on the weekly chart, so that's something to keep in mind. I'm going to have to keep an eye on. And on the daily, the bearish momentum is growing. So I would be keeping an eye on just to make sure that we don't get daily or weekly candle close below here. A daily candle close, as you could see, it dropped below a little bit and it didn't really dump, but if we get a weekly candle close below here, it could get a little sketchy. So far it's looking really nice, had a nice rally here, but I don't really like the looks of the bearish momentum starting to grow on the daily here, and I don't like how close we're starting to get to the support line. You can see how many times that it touched it and just bounced, but let's see if there's any more smaller time frame information we can see here. Got a little tiny bit of bullish divergence here, but that's only on the 15-minute, so that's not really the most significant at all. I'll keep an eye on this one and come back to here in the future as well, see if any more information presents itself, but it's an interesting one, because if the support breaks, it could be in for a dirty dump, but at the same time, this asset's been looking so bullish this run, it's very possible it just gets another wick or touchdown on the support and bounces, so I'll see what information develops and see if we can get a more sure sign on which direction it's going in future streams. Anything else that you guys want to see tonight before I hop off? I don't believe I looked at Ethereum yet tonight, so I guess I'll close off with this. Ooh. Yeah, that weekly momentum is not looking great. That's pretty crazy, to be honest, to see it that big of a bearish spike. And on the monthly, it looks like the bulls are starting to lose momentum there. Bulls are starting to lose momentum on the daily here as well. Yeah, on the larger time frames, Ethereum could definitely be looking better. Uh, 1 hour bullish divergence here. So if we can just consolidate here and hold this fib level, it's pretty well what we'd want to see there. Form a higher low above right here, which is looking like we're doing. And from there, it would start to show a little more potential for a bounce. But we're really going to want to watch over the coming days and make sure that we don't get a lower low below right here. Alright, well, I'm going to call her a night. I hope you all have a great night, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.